worst part is I thought these two were brothers at the end of the last season. I was like, well, they kind of look alike, and they're both creepy, narcissistic weirdos.
Welcome to The Story Thinker, a Webtoons and Witcher podcast for superfans with scene-by-scene analysis. Featuring sharp co-hosts for a fuller picture, we dive deep into character psychology, relationships, and theories. We'd love it if you could like, subscribe, comment, and rate us on all podcast platforms and social media. For bonus content, you can support The Story Thinker on Patreon. Let's begin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 111. And today we have Patty and Veronica.
Hello.
Hello. Oh boy, have we have a treat for you? Well, that was Patty. Oh boy, do we have a treat for you? Have we a treat for you? Whatever. This is a very interesting episode.
Oh my gosh.
Well, stick around to the end. We have lots to say.
Yes.
All right, and Veronica will start us off.
All right, so we start with the opening credit, and then here we are. They're done. The paramedics will be here later, so hang in there. There's a panel of Louise looking a little bloody. And then you scroll down. It's like, thank you. Sorry, the cabin's a little cramped, but at least it's warm in here. Do you
remember the season right now? I'm like trying to remember all the outfits and whether there were coats or not. Like, they seem to be pretty warm-ish. Like, I don't remember anyone wearing a coat.
I think it's around springtime because it wasn't that long ago that they had Poppy and Tora's birthdays, and they're Pisces and Aries. So
it's like April, so it's like early spring, so it's probably still chilly, but not like freezing. Also, what's the climate like there? I have no idea.
In this made-up country,
right?
No idea. But I mean, if it's based off of like Asura's Bride, and Naren is supposed to be that region, during Asura's Bride, it was cold.
Yeah, because it's a little bit further north.
Cold there. We just don't know when it gets cold.
Theoretically, this is all taking place in the southern hemisphere, and it's
yes. Well, and also let's be real, they both all just came out of the water, and when you even if it's nice and like warm outside, when you come out of the water, there can be a little bit of a chill. So I think that could be part of it too. And she's been like hanging out in the water for a hot minute, so
no food, no rest.
Yeah, and like, because we don't know how much time has passed between when her body was dumped and when she was found.
Yeah, that's true. It could have been a while.
It could have been there for like several days.
Yeah.
I'm
surprised she's not more delirious, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
she has a sense of humor, but we'll get to that.
And then here she is, like in a blanket with a mug, coughing. She's like, I'm good, just can't stomach any more food. Poppy, right? She's like, yep, but you can call me Pops. And she's like, I might be in shock, but you look familiar. Your name too. And she's like, do you remember me? And then Tora walks in, all looming.
I was like nervous because I was like, oh no, is she not gonna tell her for like 20 episodes who she is?
Yeah.
Like some webtoons drag that stuff out. They're like, oh, I'm really your blah blah blah. And they just like don't say it for like 50 half the story. So but no, that didn't happen.
And then it's like, I love that it's ta-da here.
Right. He has like Tora has the worst resting bitch face in this panel, and it's just like, ta-da, I come to bring you something. And I'm like, it's just so contradictory, and I love it.
So you found a portable heater. Well done. I would have started a fire and burnt the boat down. That's just not how that works. You don't ever start a fire on a boat. So
oh yeah. For a gal who has lived out in the wild, Poppy, come on now.
At least I have full faith that she definitely knows how to start a fire.
This is true.
I think she's joking.
Start a fire without a light source. So, I mean, that's not, I don't know how to start a fire without a lighter.
We didn't start a fire.
But the odds of him having a lighter are probably solid.
Yeah,
He's have one on you. So there's that.
this is true.
But I like how she's praising him, and all he gives is a little nod. With his
I know it's almost like they're having like a good puppy dog moment. Good boy, good boy.
Yeah.
Yes, praise me, please. Praise me.
I think he's nervous talking around other people. I think he doesn't know
sure.
how to upset Louise. I think he's socially awkward in general, like around
Yeah.
like people who are not out of the clan. He doesn't know how to act. He thinks that he's being judged all the time. So
Yeah.
I think that he's just like, okay, better stay silent, then I can't mess anything up.
Yeah. And I love how Louise is like trying to whisper, your captain's a real chatty one, a really chatty guy, huh? And she's like, shh, he can hear us. He just pretends not to.
Now Poppy's the one who gets nervous. I love this. I love this.
You just see him when he's stressed about work. Are you two dating? It's like, we're not.
Oh, okay, this girl, like she's almost murdered. She had got a lot of spirit, this lady. Like,
yes, she does.
Been killed. She's been on this deserted island for who knows how long. She's all beat up. She's bloody, but she's like, oh, like she can make insinuations.
Budding romance.
Yeah. I'm kind of fangirl for you. Yeah, I just want to help sip this ship here, like make it happen. She's so funny.
Literally on a ship. Better get it going.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that I caught here, and I was like, yeah, she's very chatty, and she's like, she's probably in that state of like, I need to think about anything but how shit I feel right now and my life circumstances. And these two are total cannon fodder for my teasing them. So I'm gonna do it. What's really, really funny too, and I think it's important that we talk about this, is the next panel down, she's like, Poppy's like, no, we're not dating. And I'm like, what does Tora think about what he just heard, right? Because he's been kind of going back and forth about where do we stand in a relationship. He's like, I don't even know if we're friends anymore. Yeah.
Defined anything. And, like, have they even gone on actual dates with the exception of the one time they met up at Alice's? Like have they gone on it? And they haven't gone on an actual date.
They've just been on encounters where they save each other's lives.
Yeah. Well, they did go on a date when they went to Regina's Peak. I think that was something that was like pseudo planned.
Yeah.
So
there was that one. There was that one. Like that.
And I guess we could maybe count the nightclub, the birthday celebration at the nightclub, maybe.
No, they showed up separately.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the definition of a date. When he show up,
you have to show up together. He has to pick you up.
Date is at least attempting to like meet beforehand in some sense, and he showed up with these guys. Like if it's a date, you're not showing up with your guys,
right?
Fair enough.
It was a group party.
Yeah.
That turned into a date later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. One that left him still very frustrated.
Yeah. Well, and it just also tells me like this moment where Poppy is saying that like, no, we're not dating. Is that she's still not ready. She's not anywhere near ready. Like she likes him. They're sexually attracted to each other, but she is not touching that with a 10-foot pole right now.
I mean, they have a lot going on, so it makes sense.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And then, okay, so here she is. She's like, well, I was a triathlete back in the day. Don't be shy. You two look cute together. Also, what does her being a triathlete have to do with her being super chatty?
So she can survive on the desert island.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, she's resilient and physically fit or whatever.
Yes.
Goodness gracious.
Jeez Louise, of course. Jeez Louise.
That is awesome. It's the best use of Jeez Louise I've ever seen. Finally.
Right?
And it's like, cough, cough. I'm okay. And then we have this flashback of Tora carrying Louise, and it's like, Captain, the rental lady says she'll dispatch the rescue team to the island. Are you okay with that? He's like, yeah. Get them to come. Their boats are faster, and I don't want to risk another storm. I love how Poppy is so considerate.
Yeah.
Even in a situation like that. She's like, but the help team, meaning paramedics and cops.
Oh, yikes.
You know? And he's like, you can always bribe him with another magazine article. It's horrible. Louise's response, keep it down. I'm trying to leave peacefully.
I wrote down in my notes, I was like, Louise is every 30 to 40 something. I felt that in my soul. Let me die in peace.
She's like, I'm not even supposed to be alive right now. Why is there so much noise? Who says a noisy little cherub? Where are the angels and shit? I'm like, oh my gosh, this person, I really want to be her friend.
Yeah,
right.
He's really cool.
In her, like, she's like moments away from dying and she's still hilarious.
Right.
Gil is an utter piece of trash. I mean, like, he had the coolest wife ever. Like, what's wrong with him?
You know what it is because, and I'll talk about this later, Gil's a fucking narcissist. So he doesn't like anybody who can go toe to toe with him in that way. And she's snarky as hell. Right. Like, and if I remember correctly, she did a lot of like browbeating of him. In the episodes that we did see, like when he was kind of flashing back to it. So she's a spunky lady. She's a spunky lady, and I just don't think he could take the heat. So he had to get out of the kitchen, or in his case, he took a jackhammer to the kitchen, but she still survived.
Yeah. Yeah, and then she's like, yes, Louise is hallucinating. I'm like, no, she's not hallucinating. You are a noisy little cherub.
You're a 20-something, so you're loud.
You're being really noisy. That's exactly what you are.
Oh my goodness. It's too funny. But yep, we could tell like this is still like when I scroll back just a little bit to the part where Tora's trying to crack like a dark humor joke, you can definitely tell he's stressed out because he's still pulling these jokes, right? That's his dark humor coming back. Like, oh, you could just, give him another magazine article, bribe them, it'll be fine. Yeah. Like, but he doesn't really believe that, right? Because, in the next panel, he's like, but the help team, meaning paramedics and cops. And of course, it has this like dark, ominous look on Tora, and he's like stressed about work.
That's really good of him. And that shows Tora, at the end of the day, he's going to do the right thing. And he's going to make sure that Louise gets the help as fast as she can get it. And he's sacrificing himself and putting himself at risk for her. But
sure.
That's Tora.
I'll be honest. I'm actually surprised they did call. Like, I would have thought they would have wanted to try to keep her in hiding until they figured out at least what Gil was up to.
Yeah.
But they called the cops and the paramedics and a rescue team and all that stuff. So
right. That was my thought at the end of the episode. Like, what's going to happen now? Like, are the cops going to get embroiled in the whole clan thing? Is Lane going to come because she already knows some of the clan stuff? Like, is this going to tie into like what's happening? Yeah.
Well, and if I remember correctly, like if we back up to last year when they were headed to the house that Tora bought, Lane saw them passing by. So it's entirely possible she's in the area, and you can't tell me that there isn't a cop alive who doesn't have like a police scanner that might be, paying attention to what's going on over the radio.
Yeah.
So
I think that would be a great tie-in.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you see Louise just kind of staring at Tora, like trying to just like figure out. She's like, he's the one who brought me back, but am I imagining things? I remember noticing something about that man.
By the way, if I was him, I'd be like, Tora, the cops were about to come. Let down your hair. It's like, Rapunzel, let down your hair. It's like, I know you got the turtleneck, but put that hair down. just precaution.
Like, his hair is long enough. The top part is long enough to cover his neck.
Yeah.
So, looking very delirious.
Oh man.
and he's looking mighty sexy.
Of course, always.
Has to be said. No matter the circumstances.
Even though she's looking delirious and he's looking sexy, and it's like so not fair.
Did I ever tell you when I'm sure I said this, when my son was in a pretty bad accident when he was 4, like really bad, like God forbid he could have, some terrible things could have happened. Like I was in the hospital, and doctor after doctor was coming out, and like from this department, that department, telling me what was wrong with him in every various facet. And I happen not to get stressed out about medical things, so there's that. But basically, son's in extreme risk, and here's this doctor who comes out, drop dead gorgeous, and I was like, yes, I am paying attention to what you are saying, but I am not failing to notice your extreme beauty. and my husband makes a joke when he was in Israel. He was up in the north when they won one of the wars, Lebanon War, and a rocket fell next to him. And he says he was running towards a shelter, and at the same time he noticed this cute girl on the side of his eye, and he's like, literally while he's running for his life. So yes, it doesn't change.
One time I got pulled over. I was driving into work. I don't remember why I got pulled over at this point, but I didn't get a ticket. I just got a warning. But I remember looking out my window, and then like the most gorgeous cop was the one that pulled me over, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh goodness.
Okay, let me keep facing him, because I don't get intimidated by people often, but when you just really don't expect it, it throws you off, and you just have that like brain fart moment of I can't even look in your direction because the beauty, and then looking down into my car, and I have to look up at you. I'm just like, tattoos and everything. I was like, what is going on?
Like, oh.
Oh my goodness.
Then what happened?
Yes.
It's like right out of a romance novel, like I'm dying or potentially dying, but here's this gorgeous hunk of a man here to save me. I'm not mad about it.
Oh, yes.
Yes, until she realizes what the tattoo on his neck meant, and then she says, "Get away from me! Get him away from me!"
Oh,
I mean, it's a very justifiable freak out.
Yeah,
she says next. Yeah,
so it's a very, very justifiable freak out. Like if I knew what that meant, and I was literally just like stuffed in a body bag and thrown on a deserted island to die, I would freak out too.
Oh, for sure.
It's very difficult to listen to reason in any capacity.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the themes that I'm going to talk about quite a bit this episode is that everyone is having very understandable reactions given what they're going through. And you've just got 3 very stressed out people who are freaking out about different things together. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next little bit, this is where we come up out of the flashback, and Louise just throws the cup down that she has. She smashes it on the floor, and she says, "Get him away from me. He's one of them. You know what that symbol is? I've seen it before." And so like she's flipping the fuck out, and understandably so, because she's seen that. She knows what something is up. And poor Poppy, she's just like, hang on, wait, it's not what you think. And she's like, don't fucking tell me to calm down. Louise, calm down and listen. You weren't the one almost murdered by your husband. You didn't lie inside a fucking body bag in a rat-infested basement, crying silently as you played dead. Oh, yeah. Damn. It all just, that bomb just exploded. Big time exploded. Yeah.
To explode for very good reasons, because not a lot of people can really handle, well, playing dead in a body bag.
Yeah. For several days. Like holy shit.
What is it? Does this mean almost murdered by your husband? Does he mean like he killed her and then she kind of like played dead at some point? And
Yeah. So I think my theory on what I think happened is he hit her over the head with something to knock her out, thinking she was dead, threw her in her body bag, and then he just let her kind of sit there. And I know that we all kind of speculated that she was dead because he was like, oh man, you're starting to stink. Well, you would stink too if you were sitting there in your own stink in a body bag for several days. So I think she was alive, but maybe unconscious.
Soil herself.
Mm-hmm. What's
You
that?
know, like she probably had to soil herself.
Oh, sure.
Like you're definitely, like she's not gonna like get up and use the bathroom. Like, so who knows how many days
Right.
we went without food, without water, without having to even just release herself in any capacity. Like that is like the sheer amount of therapy this woman is going to need to have.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
She needs to shoot herself.
Seriously. And I think what's really interesting is you see this look on Poppy's face, like she doesn't know what the fuck to do at this point. Like this is out of her depth. And I think it's a really great, yeah, like she's sympathetic for sure, but I think she's really out of her depth here. Right. And it's because like we keep getting these nuanced little light bulbs of, hey, Poppy, you don't know what the hell you've gotten yourself into, right? Like you wanted you kind of want into this mafia world. You want to like have one foot in the door, one foot out the door. This is what the mafia world looks like, leaving people for dead in body bags and then tossing them into the ocean. You know? And so Louise says a little bit later, she's like, while he arranges for your body to be dumped at sea, right? Like you could tell, just look at her face. Like she's just, the trauma, man, the trauma. She's just like, how dare you? Don't tell me what to feel and think, and
the way she clutches at her stomach.
Yeah. And I mean, thinking about like the child that you're going to have, the man that you had this child with did this to you. Like that's horrifying. It's horrifying. So of course, like this is, I mean, obviously this isn't directed completely at Poppy. I think this has just been a volcano that's been waiting to erupt for sure. And Poppy just happened to be the target at the end of it, because Poppy, she's trying. She's like, I'm sorry, I really am. And she's like, I don't need your sympathy. And for a minute there in this panel, I thought maybe she slapped Poppy. I was like, oh shit. But I think she just pushed her away and like.
But she pushed her away. That's what it. Like. And then that hand.
Yeah. And so Tora pops in and he's like, don't talk to her like that. And he like wrenches her up from the floor. And I was like, oh shit. He says, I don't care what you fucking went through or what your husband did to you, but she risked her goddamn life to come get you. So don't you fucking dare talk to her like that. I was like, oh boy.
Wow.
And I'm not going to lie. Like I was a little worried because like you see these panels, man. And like, clearly I get it. Tora has lost his shit here. He's at the end of his rope too, just like Louise is and Poppy is too, but at the same time, like he's going into protector mode for Poppy. He's like, you're not going to fucking talk to her like that. Like, that's not okay. Because if we think about it in the context of how he saw Jewelry treat her in front of him, like, I think that triggered a little bit of that protector mode in him. It's not great, right? Because it doesn't work in all circumstances. And I think he was a little too rough here, to be honest. But I understand why he did it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he can only be gentle with Poppy. And then everyone else just gets very like rough around the edges, Tora.
Yep.
Like he only has the capacity to be gentle with her.
Yeah.
Literally no one else. Not even like, not even Alice. Like he's like even rough with Alice, you know what I mean? She's like this tiny frail thing.
Yeah.
But, like scoop her up. run down the steps with her.
Yeah. I mean, that's how he solves problems, right? And I think what's really interesting as we go into the rest of these panels where Poppy kind of pops in and she's like, Louise, and Louise says, I'm sorry. And Poppy goes up and she hugs her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I really find it fascinating that we see these two very different responses to Louise's situation, right? And they're both understandable. But I like what Poppy does here. She says, Louise, it's fine. You went through a lot. But trust me, we're not the bad guys. We're here to help. And those two panels, the one where Poppy is holding on to Louise and just giving her a hug and saying, it's okay, we'll get through this. We're the good guys, I promise. You can see the defeat in Tora's face in that next panel where he's like sighing, like, oh shit, I fucked up. Right.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like, I think he's recognizing Poppy's approach, right? Like, she knows how to solve problems with a gentler hand here. And then this is one of those situations where you have to solve it with a gentler hand.
Yeah.
It's out of his depth. It's not his, it's outside of his ability. Like he can see it, maybe, you know, and he wants to do the right thing, and he just doesn't have tools. He hasn't had enough practice, hasn't had grown up in the right way. And but you know, we know that deep down he's Mr. Sensitive. So
of course.
Do the right thing.
Of course, he wants to do the right thing. And I think that's why he has that, you know, that look of regret here. He's like, man, I fucked up. And I think this is also a really great, like, I love pointing out moments where Poppy kind of reparents Tora without realizing it. She's basically teaching him, this is how you, like, she doesn't realize she's doing it, but she's teaching him, this is how you help somebody who's really struggling. And sometimes they freak out. And we know that they freak out, but we have to approach them with gentleness and compassion.
Yeah.
And you know what I also love is that when he tells Louise, you know, that she risked her life to get to you, it shows that how he admires Poppy for what she did.
Oh yeah.
He made fun of her and he kept saying, you know, are you sure? Like, what, you know, this is useless, this is hopeless. But, you know, deep down he respected her for trying to save her life. So, you know, that like his true feelings are showing.
For sure. And then so in the next panel, Poppy finally reveals her name. She says, also, my name is Poppy Land Wilkes. Ring a bell. And then Louise goes back into flip out mode. Poppy Land Wilkes from Giant Goldfish Publishing. And she pushes her back again. And she's like, if you're still working for my husband, I swear to God. And Poppy's like, I'm not. I can assure you I'm not. And I have an idea of what Gil's been up to. And then we get a shot back to Tora, who's like, he's exit stage left in this argument. He's probably thinking, I'm useless in this. I can't do anything to help with this. So I'm just going to step back. And Louise turns to him and she's like, what about him? And Poppy says, he's a friend too. He's tracking down Gil. And that was how we found you. Come on, let's get you settled by the heater so I can tell you everything. You need to rest. And you can tell, like, Louise still doesn't quite trust it. She's like, I know you said we're not the bad guys, but I mean, I don't blame her. I wouldn't trust anybody in this situation.
Of course.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
And then, of course, because Tora is grumpy as fuck, he's like, we need to rest. We haven't gotten any since fucking yesterday. Grumble, grumble. And Poppy's like, Captain. And Louise is like, what a prick.
Louise has so much spice. She
does.
Yeah, she does.
So I think what's really cool about this panel is that even though they're all fucking stressed out right now, every single one of them, right, for different reasons, I think this is kind of like the humor to like diffuse the situation, right? So like, instead of Tora being as intense as he usually is, he's like, well, we need rest. Fuck you. And Louise's response is, well, prick. You know, so it's kind of like that begrudging, like, okay, fine, we're just going to let it go for right now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Joking around with people is like kind of giving an okay, we're fine.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, Tora does the one thing that he always does when he's stressed out. He's fixing for his cigarettes and he's cursing himself because he didn't bring a pack. But then he's got this kind of wide-eyed look on his face that, when I first saw this panel, I was like, bro, what do you got in your pocket?
I know. Is that what you thought also? I was like, are we gonna find out next episode? Because we didn't see this episode.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be an Easter egg.
That like, yeah. What?
I thought it was going to be an Easter egg. Like, are we going to have to find out 10 episodes later what's in there? Oh, God. And so Poppy brings Louise back down to the little space heater. But then, is this where you take over, Veronica? I can't remember.
Oh, no, where Mindy takes over the rest.
Okay.
Okay. Sure.
All right.
So what he does is he takes out the little triceratops, and purple triceratops, it's bloody, and he says, picked it up on the beach. Hide was up, but it was lodged between some rocks under the water. So cute. Oh my God. So okay, he noticed it, he brought it, and now he says, I might be a prick, but I still hope your little one's doing okay. Oh, Tora.
Everyone crying in the club.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed that he managed to verbalize, despite being grumpy, having just been yelled at, nervous about the cops, he is expressing sympathy for her, and not easy to articulate emotions.
And he's mirroring that kindness that Poppy showed earlier, right? Like, he's like, well, my method didn't work, so let me try this instead, right? He's that little part of him is coming out just a little bit.
And he also knows to get down on their level.
Yeah.
Doing this. He's not hovering over them. He crouches down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he's less intimidating.
For sure. For sure.
Okay. Yeah. And then he says, we hear, officer, we spotted the boat. And Poppy's like, crap. And then we hear from outside, raft up, we need full access to the deck. Poppy says, they're here. They go outside. And then she says, the cops are here too. Are you sure? And he's like, put your shoes on. And we hear the cops saying, whoever's on board, please step out. So tense.
Oh man, so much stress.
Much stress.
What's going to happen? Poppy nods, and so the background gets black, the windows are black, it's all black. I know. And she puts on her shoes. She's like, wait here for a bit, Louise. And Louise is looking at the dino, like she's holding it close to her. And this poor lady, hope her baby's okay. I don't know how. I don't know. I'm not a gynecologist. I don't know how, whatever, but I hope it's okay. And now we see there's the fishing boat and two boats around it. And Poppy goes outside. She's like, the people are like, so one of the cops says, orders, chief. And the other one says, take their statements, especially the tall one. And then we see Tora out there with his deadpan look. Oh, well. Dude, like, put on a smile, something, like try to be less intimidating for once.
And if you put on a smile, that would just look not the right place.
Yeah.
If he had a smile on his face, it would look very out of place.
Just like wave, I don't know, soften your face. Like, you have to practice. Okay, look in the mirror. This is an acquired skill.
I mean, Scott has resting angry face.
Mm-hmm.
A permanent scowl. I'm just like, you can't just keep walking around like that. Going up to his forehead, I'm just like, smooth that out.
Like, smooth it out. It'll be okay. Smooth it out.
And we see Louise just sitting there on the deck, and she's holding the dinosaur and looking at it. And then we hear her flashback. She's in the body bag, dipped up. There's a little bit of light. Looks like it's coming up from a little creak of the door. And
here, there's a cut in the body bag.
Oh yes, also and we hear someone say, "Please to collab with you again, my dude. Pity that last one didn't work out. You think that little bitch will tell daddy about your shit?" I was like, okay, so this, because we saw the preview. Anyhow, okay, I'll just continue. If he does, he'll put both her and himself at risk, don't you think? And the person replies, hot, and the person being Scharch, he says, hot damn, you're right. They're not on the best of terms, and daddy's gonna throw a fit if he finds out. And then Gil says, sounds like it, and family's drama right up my alley. So I was a little confused because at first I was like, wait, is this confirming that they're brothers? Are they talking about their daddy? And then he continues to talk like you're fucking a genius. And then, oh my God. He's closer to Gil. I can't think of anything more repulsive than Gil's face, but whatever. And then he's like, want to know what else is going up? Yeah. Yeah, Allie today. Oh God.
Oh wow.
Oh, this is Shark's neck with his 𝗏𝗏𝗱. So they better not be brothers. That's all I'm saying.
It's not Game of Thrones. I think we're safe. Like, this is not the Lannisters. I think we're okay.
Going up the alley to like that. That was just it was so cringe.
Yeah.
You know what? Mr. Chin here McGee's is not the best at grooming. Like, how clean is his alley?
Oh. Why?
I mean, well, I'm not going to get into specifics, but oh my God. Well, and here's the thing. The worst part is I thought these two were brothers at the end of the last season. I was like, well, they kind of look alike. And, you know, they're both creepy, narcissistic weirdos, you know, so.
They scream they've got to be brothers or cousins or something, some kind of relative in some sense, you know, like there's no way. But secret BL lovers is just not on the list of things I thought they were.
It definitely was not. That was, I love it when Lily just kind of throws a wrench in the spokes with this shit. Like, it's so out of left field, but you know what? Hey.
And they deserve each other, honestly. I'm sure they deserve each other.
Oh, 100%.
They probably do, with his dirty ass alley. Like,
No,
I'm dying.
Maybe he thinks he looks nice with the chin hairs. Maybe that's his style.
Maybe. Who knows? But honestly, like, if I think about these two, like, let's be real here. We know Shark is calculated and cold and psycho, right? And we are finding out that Gil is very much like that too. So this is like narcissistic mirroring for them. And so, you know, like, let's be real. I think when Shark is fucking Gil, he's fucking himself. That's what a narcissist does.
Oh, probably. You know, they got eye colors. He's probably looking in his eyes and thinking, oh, yes, this is me.
Yeah. Yeah. He would do that. He would do that.
Right. Or doing it for mercenary purposes and seeing what he can get out of him.
Well, for sure. But like, oh my God, those two.
That line going up your alley. Oh, gross. Also, okay, so we need to talk about who we think Daddy is.
All right, yeah, I have no idea who's Daddy and who's she and what.
Because I was reading comments and someone made a really good point that they think 𝗏𝗏𝗱. So, okay, so in this whole, like, pleased to collab with you again, my dude, I think this is Shark talking.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think, and when he says, you know, pity the last one didn't work out, I think 𝗏𝗏𝗱 is Quincy.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yes, because I mean, you know, obviously Quincy working for Goldfish didn't work out in his favor.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And then he also goes and says, if he does, he'll put both her and himself at risk, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
So who's her?
I think it's Poppy.
Or is it Poppy?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think Shark and Gil are behind the break-in at Poppy's apartment. So I think that's what he's referring to when he says, sorry, that last one didn't work out. I think they were trying to off Poppy.
Oh,
yeah.
It's interesting because I was thinking that, you know, Gil had all these financial troubles. I thought that he meant offloading his financial troubles onto Poppy, like blaming her or using Goldfish to like do some embezzlement. I thought they were referring to that, you know, like the financial troubles that he's in. I guess either way.
Yeah, could be both.
You think 𝗏𝗏𝗱 will tell Daddy about your shit? Like,
why is he calling Quincy a little bitch? That is so rude. I can't forgive that.
Yeah.
It's something Shark would do, though.
That's not little bitch. Let's get that
No.
right. No, he's Quinces. That is his proper name.
They will find out soon enough, because we all know Quincy has a dark side
Oh, for sure.
that they have never seen.
Yes. So, but yeah, that's I think that's, and then, hot damn, you're right. They're not on the best of terms, and Daddy's gonna throw a fit if he finds out. Quincy and his dad aren't in the best of terms. They aren't on the best of terms, because like he wants Quincy to stop doing his little writing and whatnot, and actually like take clan business seriously.
Mm-hmm. I could see that. It's his only heir. And I mean, when we think about it, Vincent thinks of himself as royalty. And so he's like, want you to get on with it. With, you've had your fun with your little writing gig. Now it's time to take the reins, right? And he's the heir of 2 mafia clans. So there's even more pressure for him to take over his dad's spot, and his mom's spot.
Yeah.
So it's getting really deep, and we know that they're not on the best of terms, because every time Vincent calls Tora and Quincy's there with him, like, oh, don't tell him I'm here with you, or like, I don't exist. And like in the 111 episodes, I can't remember completely, but I don't think we've had a single episode where they have been in the same frame together, where they've been in the same room together. No. I can't think of a single one.
I can't think of one either.
Yeah, well, we have when they were talking together about to go to the beach, and Tora was in the hole and he heard them talking together, but
yeah,
but that's when he was like a child. So like as an adult, did they have any communications with each other as an adult?
Wouldn't seem like it.
Panels with his mom, but not with his dad.
Yeah, so there's definitely some avoidance there.
So, and then here's Gil thinking he can, stir the pot, because how is family drama up his alley? I don't know.
Well, he just tried to kill his wife. That's family drama.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah, that's fair enough. There's got to be more to that, though, because there's still a lot we don't know about Gil, like where he hopped countries.
What if he's connected to Poppy's family? That's
hell.
What if he's her cousin?
Oh God.
Her great uncle.
Oh my God. I don't want Lily to have to insert another like crazy scene to debunk that theory.
I know. I feel like this scene with them, like, because she wants just to debunk in the most horrific way possible, in the most disturbing way possible.
Of course.
Back for others.
Oh my God.
To do that, to make them secret lovers.
Right.
I don't want to see them be secret lovers. Give me real lovers they actually like. Oh, this is not appealing at all.
Louise had to literally lay in this body bag listening to her husband, who tried to kill her, take it up his by this site. Because they did it in that room.
Yes.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
Because only psychos would do that.
Oh, God.
Yep. But like we talked about, they deserve each other. And honestly, what I'm looking forward to is when they betray each other, because we know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
We know it will.
They'll throw each other under the bus at some point.
100%.
I just don't know when it will happen, but I'm like all for it.
Wow. Oh, the level of skis cannot handle.
Yeah, but yeah, oh my gosh, it's like when Lily dropped that panel, I was just like, what is she doing to us?
I know.
It was really funny. It's hilarious.
Oh my God.
I am
Gil.
signed up to talk about this episode at the last
I
minute.
know. Oh man. Yeah, when I read the episode on Friday, I was like, holy shit, I've got to get to feeling better because I've got to talk about those last 3 panels.
Yes. Yeah.
These two.
Like last week when last week's episode ended and they found Louise, I was like, and I immediately went on Patreon and I immediately signed myself up because I was like, shit is gonna go down and I got to talk about I didn't know it was gonna be on this level.
Right. We did not know it was gonna be this explosive.
Yes.
Oh,
Crazy.
Oh man.
So
sorry, I'm kind of looking forward because I'm sure Lily's just going to make it as cringe as possible. It's just going to be as ridiculous and horrifying as possible.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I've never felt so cringe before. Like reading something. Like never, ever.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But it's like
Those
you think
two.
you want a kiss, but then you get one and you don't want it.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Although I'm sure that when, Scharch is up Gil's alley, that they're probably in front of a mirror and Scharch is watching himself because that's just how he is. God.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, looking good.
Oh my God, these two.
I know, like Gil is like the downgraded version.
He is.
Scharch is good looking. I give him that.
He's great value brand Scharch.
Great value brand Scharch. He really is. And so he's like, well, this is the closest I'm going to get to me. So
yeah. Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want it to be revealed like how they actually met. Like how did they get connected together?
It's like there's a bar where all the shitty people go. That's where they met.
Yeah. Well, and I think Gil was said to have had some other previous ties and like he knows somebody pretty high up because remember when they said that he left the country to 𝗫𝗏𝗏 that they couldn't, when Tora and Quincy were looking into his background, they couldn't find hardly anything, which had like Quincy and Tora were saying that's got clan written all over it because we can't find anything on this guy. So he knows somebody in high places. I don't think it's Scharch, but he knows somebody in high places, maybe with another clan.
Yeah.
Like
knows people in the other clan that Quincy
yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
The 𝗲𝗏𝗱 clan.
We don't let little dirt bags like that in the 𝗲𝗏𝗱 clan. We don't do that. We don't play that game.
Only high quality dirt bags, but
only the highest of quality.
Oh yeah. Well, what's everyone's favorite panel from this episode? I already know mine. Mine's right here.
It's definitely the most hilarious panel. Like it killed me. I don't know. Like I'm kind of in a soft spot right now. So I guess like my favorite panel is where Tora gives her back the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
I mean, that one's a really good panel. That one's a really, really good panel. So that one's a hard one to top, I think. Yeah. But yeah, I would say that one's probably also my favorite panel.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Rooting for the baby.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do we have any other last minute thoughts before we close out?
No. I got to talk about everything.
Where this story is going, I have no theories. Because clearly any theory is going to be wrong.
This is true. She's just gonna like
having theories.
Yep. Always a wrench in the spokes.
Always. So I have no theories, but I'm just excited for future episodes.
Yes. I'm like super stoked that we're getting into the mafia plot. Like I feel like it's been a hot minute since we've really kind of dug deep with it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Lily pulls out of her sleeves.
Yeah.
Or-
Like I knew that the return would be very plot heavy. Like it was
Mhm.
very fluffy, very like about developing their closeness and their
Yeah.
relationship and all of that stuff before she went on her hiatus. And so I knew that it would end up being more plot driven once we got back into the swing of things.
Oh, sure.
So I'm very, very, very excited for that. But I have theories.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to, and
All right.
yeah, we will see it. Thank you so much for joining.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Thank
And
you.
thank you.
Thank you so much to my current patrons: Susie, Lily, Molly, Veronica, Emily, 𝗄𝗲𝗱 𝗪𝗀 𝗪𝗲𝗍𝗃, Anne Rose, Alexa, Misty, Joanne, Esther, I'm Watching It People, Emily, Jean, Kay, Lily, Beckett, Duranda, Christine, Sadie, Teresa, Mrs. 𝗥𝗲𝗱 𝗩𝗏𝗀𝗀, and 𝗪𝗲𝗱. Your support is truly appreciated.